Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to a youthful experience here on the Amateur Otaku podcast. I'm your host today, Isaac Wolf. Joining me in this lovely recording is Jamie and Didge. How is it going, yo?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite what's it called? Lifestyle anime. That's not the term, but
Slice
y'all
of
know.
life.
Slice of life. There we go. The term was escaping me.
I see.
I'm getting old.
Yeah. How about you, Didge? Is everything going good?
Doing good, Things are things are happening, life is lifing, but
Mm.
like Jamie said, this is one of my favorite feel good animes of the season. It's constantly fighting for the top spot.
That's nice. That's nice. And obviously, the baddies are back. But and yeah, it's going good here too. And I was curious about this with you guys have talking about this so much for the last month or so.
Mm.
Or has it been over a month since this came out?
Oh yeah, it's been a couple of months. I think cuz
Yeah.
it came out back in April, beginning of April at that.
Did it? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Oh, the dear Lord,
Wow.
that's it has gone on for quite some time, then.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
That's
there's only
crazy.
like 3 or so episodes left. I think they're only doing 12 episodes in the season.
Oh no.
Oh, I mean, 24 episodes. Did you say 24?
No, I think they're only doing 12. So I think it's
Okay.
Oh, were you
Oh.
talking about Delicious in Dungeon, Isaac?
No, I'm talking about Grandma and Grandpa
Okay. Yeah.
young, becoming young again.
Yeah, I think
But
they're only doing 12. Delicious in Dungeon is doing 24.
they're doing 11 actually. I just looked it up to make sure.
They're doing
So
11.
there are 2 episodes left cuz one came out
Oh my gosh.
and actually technically not really that many. So because um the 10th episode comes out Thursday or Sunday and
Yeah.
then obviously the finale will be the following Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
it's a first impression, Mike. Uh,
It's basically
It could be
well,
whatever you want it
yeah, I
to
was gonna
be.
say, how many episodes have you guys all watched?
I
I'm
have
caught up.
watched 5.
Oh,
I have
okay.
watched 5.
I'm caught up too.
But
So
quite frankly, it does. Before we go into detail about it, it kind of feels like a show you sort of can jump in without any problems of following the story. To be
Yeah, I think
perfectly
so for the
frank,
most part.
mm-hmm.
and well, this is for later. But before we go into detail about this one, I'm thinking about we should start with a what have we watching slash reading. And Jamie, since it's been an episode that you have been on board, I was just wondering what have you read, watched recently? Well, besides Grandma and Grandpa becoming young again.
Yeah, so haven't read anything as of late. It's been a hot minute since I've read something. I need to get back on it. I've been reading quote unquote real books, I guess, or books that don't have pictures of them basically. I'm on my intellectual era right now. But what I've been watching, me and Ditch talked about it earlier. I've been watching Delicious in Dungeon. I've been liking it, but I also feel like a 24 episode season, especially for the first season, I don't know if it was the right move. So we've got today the 23rd episode came out, so next week will be the finale. So a lot of finales happening next week, actually. I've also been watching My Hero Academia, and I've been like, that one's been a roller coaster, but a good roller coaster, but still like it hurts sometimes. The I don't know how much I want to say for it, just in case people haven't started it yet, but That one, I've been enjoying that one. That one's hit me in the feels. Also been watching Kaiju number 8. Really like that. Demon Slayer, obviously, always on Demon Slayer. And Go-Go Loser Ranger, actually. I was like 50-50 on in the beginning, but I feel like the longer that it's gone on, the more I've kind of been intrigued by what they're doing, like the story that they're telling. So I've been enjoying it. I've been watching a lot of anime. I just like I gotta stay on top of it, otherwise all the episodes pile up. So but yeah, it's been good.
That's nice. How about you, Didge? And welcome to the stream.
Let's see. I just
Hello.
started this show. What's up, Mike?
What's up?
I just started this show. It's called Sengoku Yoko. It's on Crunchyroll. I'm literally only 2 episodes in, so I can't give you too much about it. But
Ooh.
It's basically like there's these two, like the girl, she's a fox spirit, and I don't know, her brother's not a fox spirit for some reason. So I guess they're just siblings because they're both spirits. But she loves humans, he hates humans, and it's sort of like their journey.
I see.
So it's interesting so far. The season's already done, so I should hopefully be able to power through it. Like you said, been watching Kaiju number 8, Go-Go Loser Ranger, all the typical stuff we've been talking about. Delicious in Dungeon. I do agree with you. I don't think that they should have did a 24 episode season. I remember back, I think it had to be episode 12 or maybe 13.
That's crazy to say. I remember back when, and it's the first.
Well, I remember we were talking about it, and I think it might have been before we realized it was 24. We were like, "Oh yeah, this felt like a finale."
Yeah,
How it thought it ended well. And then the next week, we're like, "Oh wait, it's still going on."
Yep.
Oh.
It's funny because I've listened to multiple podcasts, not anime related, but they'll talk about like what they've been watching and stuff, and they'll mention like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching Delicious in Dungeon," and literally half of them will be like, "Wait, that show is still going." So it's interesting. I also
Vindication.
It's a good show. It's just like they need to think about it a little bit. That I have some comments on that, but I also forgot to mention that I've been watching Summertime Rendering as well. That is a good ass show, and that is actually also, I think it's like 22 episodes, so I'm halfway through it right now. But it makes sense to be as long as it is because it's like one season and done. So
it was behind Disney Plus Yale only being available in Disney Plus in Japan for about a year for whatever reason, which makes no sense.
Don't you just love when Disney buys the rights to anime and then tells no one?
Yeah. Well, I remember hearing about it for a while because it was like, obviously Disney Plus means it's going to be on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know a bunch of people, they were watching it on Hulu, I think like last summer, maybe the summer before. So like, it was one of those things where I watched a couple episodes. It's really good. It's just, I don't go to Disney Plus or Hulu for anime too often. So it's very easy to fall behind on stuff there.
Yeah, it just so happened to work out for me that I was reminded of the show again because somebody had mentioned it because it is a really great show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have any shows to watch between Monday to Wednesday, pretty much. I don't have anything that's like scheduled to be coming up. So I'm like, oh, I'll just throw on like a couple episodes of Summertime Rendering, and now I'm hooked. I'm like, I watch it when I get the chance. So that's really good.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I want to catch up and watch that. And then reading wise, I haven't really been reading much, anything new. I keep up with my same series and just go about that. So same stuff I said last week.
Nice. What have you been watching and reading, Isaac? Anything new or something you want to update the people on?
I was about to ask Mike if he wants to give his comment about what he has read/watched recently.
Sure.
Watching is mostly non-anime stuff right now. It's screener season, essentially. So many shows drop. So many shows drop between The Boys and Bridgerton and House of the Dragon and The Bear. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's great. But I'm here to rant because Isaac made me read Jujutsu Kaisen, and I hate my life. Not a fun time. Gege is an interesting writer. I'm not going to spoil story beats, obviously, but the paneling.
You'll have an episode about that coming out in, what is it, 2 weeks?
Sure, yeah. That's not me ranting about this damn series, though. So let me get it out now while I can, while it's still fresh.
Don't blink if Nobara's alive, Mike. Don't blink. Let's go. Let's go.
There you go.
Let's go.
No, but seriously. Gege needs to learn how to show and don't tell. There are so many speech bubbles in this book. It is insufferable.
Oh, dang. You might be reading a real book, too, then.
I mean, I think it was like, 2 chapters ago, the first page, I think it was like 20 text bubbles. And I'm like, no. And then another character was explaining, domain expansion BS. And I'm just like, huh? How is anybody following this? Are people making up the fact that they understand what the story is about? Because I am so confused. That was it.
Yeah. I hope
Not a fun time.
The anime.
The anime, I think, is better simply because they can show what's happening as opposed to a character having to explain.
Yeah.
I think Sukuna had like 4 pages of him just explaining some shit. And I'm just like, no, this ain't it, Isaac. I'm not doing this anymore. Good luck. Every JJK episode is in your hands. I'm out.
I thought you would love the manga.
The manga's a lot.
It's a lot. Like, it's interesting, but I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, what am I staring at? What is this? I'm glad I had it on my tablet so I can zoom in and out. Because if I was actually reading a physical book of JJK, I'd go insane.
That's how my sister-in-law reads, and I don't understand. Like, she buys the volumes, and she'll just be sitting there reading it, and I'm like, one, you're behind. But also, how are you doing this?
Maybe that's why she's behind.
The collection I have at my office here, and just okay.
The balance is off because, again, like the first couple pages of that chapter were just full of text, but then the last 5 pages were just like this giant, beautiful spread of art with not a single word on it. And I'm like, you could have just spread the text out a little bit on this page, and it wouldn't have been as overwhelming. That's it. You got it, like almost 300 chapters in. Gege, you got to get better at this. It was too much for me. That was all. That's my rant. JJK's weird. Have fun.
It shall be interesting to see how Gege's, it shall be interesting to see Gege's idol manga, which they have stated that they want to do after this, which is just knowing their.
How depressing is that gonna be? Because it could either be, it's a fun boppy idol manga, like great change of pace, or it could be like, this is the dark side of Hollywood, and it's just depressing as hell.
I mean,
probably be a bit
that's
of both.
Oshino-ko, so I don't think that will work.
I feel like you can't cover idol culture without talking about the light and the dark, so he might could rock that.
But then
it's going to be depressing for sure.
Then it ends up being in the JK universe, and some random curses becomes idols, and they need to hide their identity for Jujutsu sorcerers. I don't know. I mean,
don't give them ideas, Isaac. No, we already got too many. We already got too many spinoffs around here. Don't do that. We don't need the JJK idol spinoff.
I mean,
bring the bar back in the idol spinoff.
Yeah, it shall be interesting, at least. That's for certain.
That's interesting, though. Very different topic, different genre. Curious to see how that would work.
Especially when it comes to someone that wanted Jujutsu Kaisen to become closer to the Exorcist in tone before the editors chimed in.
Interesting.
And no, I'm not joking. That's supposedly the first idea of it all.
Very interesting. I don't get that.
And but like AJ said, look up Sakamoto Days or read Kaiju. I think you will enjoy those ones.
I
Yeah.
am watching Kaiju. I will not be reading it. And like I said to AJ, anime got announced. I am not picking up Sakamoto Days. I am just watching the show. One day. I still got to get through Full Metal Alchemist eventually.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And we also am going to get you on board with One Piece as soon as the remake
Oh,
comes
Lord.
out.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, he said that he just wanted to rant about Jujutsu Kaisen.
I think he was running for the One Piece.
Yeah, Jamie's
I
right.
tried to leave too. I didn't have the ability.
Dang. Oh, there it is. All right. I mean,
I mean, you said that you were going to check it out, and
Then they announced the remake, so it's like,
oh yeah,
now
the remake. The remake.
I talked about the remake.
I mean, honestly, well, I don't even know if I'd want to watch the remake. I might just watch the live action show. Do I want to go through that first season again?
They're gonna fix some things. I think it'll be cool. I love Wit. I'm down to see Wit.
I'm curious about it, but it shall be interesting to see the difference between Toei and the difference that Toei Wit does compared to Toei.
Animation wise, that'll be interesting. I'm thinking like score, like voices, like that might get where it's kind of weird, right? Because like after 30 years, those voices are so iconic, both dubbed and subbed, right? So is it gonna be weird when you get to specific locations and that score is different, or those voices are different?
Honestly, I just think they are going to use the voice lines from the original and just
then what's the point? Damn it!
And have the dub actors will be the live action actors.
They might.
That's what I think it's gonna be when it comes to the voice acting part.
They might re-record it, because I was actually, if anybody doesn't watch Totally Not Mark and likes anime content, definitely check him out. He makes some good videos.
I have no idea who that is, but noted.
He was one step away from getting sued out of his ass against Toei for some reason when he just out of nowhere started to lynch his channel.
He's known for getting the Toei nuke, but he does other things outside of getting nuked by Toei.
Not to cut you off, Jamie, I want you to make your point right now, but I just love how Isaac said that, like that was going to clear things up. It's just like, got it. Bet.
It's somewhat of a big thing in the anime community, but it's like, if you don't know, you don't know. It's fine. But he made a video where he talked about the music in Dragon Ball Z, and I had no idea. Apparently, the music for Dragon Ball Z has changed at least 3 or 4 different times, because they had like the original, then they changed the music for the English dub for some reason. Then when they did Dragon Ball Z Kai, they made another score, and then I think they made another score again when they found out that the composer for Dragon Ball Z Kai was plagiarizing. So then they just went back to the original score. So there's just a lot going on, but I don't ever remember anybody mentioning it. So I feel like if you change the score for One Piece, as long as you have like those select like iconic pieces or just like melodies throughout, I think people will be fine.
That's my point though. Do they do that? Because like Dragon Ball changing so much is kind of probably why nobody talks about it. Whereas One Piece's score has been consistent for 20 plus years. And if they don't set, like even the live action had motifs and riffs from that anime. If they don't do that, will it be like, it's weird? Because I already know some OG One Piece fans are already like, I don't need this. I'm already 1,000 episodes deep in this other show.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's for them though. I think it's for everybody else. That's like I can't get into an 1,000 episode show. They're like, okay, well, this is for you. It's not 1,000 episodes. We're starting with 1.
There's a reason why I say if you want to get the quote unquote full experience as of it's right now, go to the manga, not the anime. And I'm someone that follows the anime weekly, so It's faster to read than to watch, after all.
Speaking of the anime, I love the art for Egghead Island. So fun, so whimsical.
It makes a perfect sense for the arc also. It's more goofy than the Wano arc, so it's it has different art styles depending on the arcs, and yeah, it totally makes sense that they had this art styling compared to, let us say, Wano that we have been used to, what, 2 to 3 years now? So
Wano was like 3 years, what, like 150 episodes, something like that.
195 to be exact.
I was being generous. All right.
A lot of episodes.
That is a lot of episodes. I might be like
Indeed.
most of the episodes I've watched in a year. Honestly.
But to Toei's credit, they're still they're only 10% filler in the anime, so for better or for worse.
You see, you say that, but this is the moment where I feel like I want filler. If you said 1,000 episodes, but you could skip half of it, I'd be like, I bet. But you're telling me,
yeah,
1,000 episodes, and I only get to skip 10 of them? I'm good.
Which is why the remake is a good thing.
Yep.
But anyway, it's watching, reading stuff like here. It's the usual kaiju spy, which is honestly, without going to the full spoiler, Mr. Elegant is finally getting a backstory, which is awesome.
Woo!
What?
They just look surprised. I saw him turn like
Best
What?
characters back, baby. Let's go.
His backstory is really good so far, which is a lot of fun.
This is
Well,
the arc I
One
never
Piece-
knew I needed. I'm sold.
We have One Piece, which is just full blown bonkers right now. We have Kaido, which is just insane. We have Jujutsu Kaisen, which is an interesting experience to say the least.
yeah.
Then hopefully Gege makes a good recovery, considering Gege is supposedly sick right now. And
Get well soon.
we also have Make the Exorcist Fall in Love, which is a great manga. Watching wise, it's Demon Slayer, and yet again I have to say kudos to Ufotable to actually give us some proper filler in terms of giving the extension for this arc. Because,
I've been enjoying it.
Because unlike other, how should I put, for those that have watched Attack on Titan, as a comparison, I mentioned that before, but the filler in this arc can compare to when in Attack on Titan anime, they show the training that Eren and everyone else has to become scouts, but in the manga, they don't show that. It's just a time skip to when they become scouts. And the whole training, them training, I do feel is a good filler or fill in or whatever you want to call it. It's and so far the new scenes in Demon Slayer. So far the new stuff in the arc has been good.
Yeah.
For that,
yeah, I've been enjoying it.
I agree. I was kind of nervous going into it because people said it's one of the weakest arcs in the entire manga, and
it is.
So far, I don't know how I would match it up against other seasons, but I've been enjoying it, and I think it's been fun. So that's enough for me, honestly.
That's fair.
And also Spice and Wolf, which is a lot really cute so far, which is I highly recommend watching. It's and I'm going through Windbreakers because that was a lot of fun.
I've been
And
hearing about that a little bit.
Yeah, I have to. I need to watch it.
and me and Nathan covered it last week. No, 2 weeks ago, and well, we both enjoyed it quite well.
Oh, sick.
But yeah, that's pretty much it from my from my book. But now before. Do you guys have anything else to talk about before we go into the main topic?
It sounded like Mike was going to say something.
I was just saying what Isaac said was dope. The shows he was watching. As far as anything else to add before you guys move on, no. Same as usual. I'm really loving Kaiju. I gotta get back into it. I'm like an episode or two behind, so I gotta catch up before it wraps up very soon. I both love and hate short series where it's like, if it's what I'm really vibing with, I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I had more. Other times, 12 episodes, it's perfectly fine. I need to get into Demon Slayer, though. I haven't started it yet. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. This, like, I liked last season, but with Demon Slayer, I'm kind of just like, all right, Demon Slayer did that thing where I wanted to get invested in that world, but they never gave me a reason to. Like, I still know nothing about Inosuke or Zenitsu. It's like, I like them, but I don't love them,
Yeah.
So
this arc does not fix any of that.
yeah, that's my point of like, I had to come to terms with that. Where
At
it's like,
least
that's
so
the
far.
story.
At least so far. Maybe next episode they'll be like, bring him in. Let's
Yeah,
talk
but
about
once
your background.
Once they do that, I'm like, oh, they're gonna die, because JJK did that to me multiple times.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The Naruto flute comes in. It's like, oh boy, here we go. Backstory and death.
Yeah, we kind of need to we don't need to stop doing that in anime, but stop.
Hey,
Yeah, it's just a trope. Like, there's a better way to give backstory, and there's a better way
Yeah.
to intro a character death.
hey, look at it this way. They did and this wasn't in the manga, FYI, the whole flashbacks for Nezuko trying to fool everyone, and oh, she's gonna die, and nope, she didn't die, so.
Yeah, that definitely, they got me. I was crying. I was like, I can't believe they did this.
Thank goodness, though, right?
Yeah. It kind of saved the season, because the season overall I was a 6 out of 10 on it.
That's how Demon Slayer keeps roping us back in, because it's like dope animation, and when you hit an emotional moment, it does hit. I just wish we got more of those. So I'm gonna get to the season. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm sure I'm gonna like it too. Like, I've liked Demon Slayer up until this point, but it's also just one of those things where it's like, I always saw more potential from this story, and it just never did it. It's really carried by fun character interactions and cool fight scenes. And so once I get through Kaiju, I guess that's what I'll jump into next for my battle shonen anime.
I'm not gonna lie, Demon Slayer took a major hit to me when I found out that all the animations was just for aesthetics.
Oh, really?
That took a major hit to me.
You see, this is why I'm glad I watched the show, because I would have been livid, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend that it happened. I just keep enjoying the show for what.
I only watched the show and somebody told me, and I think they just thought I knew. Like, maybe obviously manga readers don't know that for sure, but I'm just like, that takes a lot out of the
I'm
show.
curious as to why that took a hit, but we could talk about that off stream.
Yeah.
We might save it for just Demon Slayer specific stream, because you can't tell me water style breathing and then no water shows up. What are we doing then? You know?
That's what I'm saying. It took a lot.
But why is the anime suffering because of that instead of the manga being like, why didn't the manga do that? Even though that is a lot of effects, and that'll probably be
that's a lot of. I get why they didn't do it.
Yeah, but
it took a major hit. Like, I still enjoy it. I do still obviously watch it week to week and stuff. But oh boy, I was like, man, what we doing here for a little bit?
Oh man, Isaac, we've got an anime to talk about, right?
We sure do, and it's someone for the ages.
Ha,
TTYL, have fun.
ha.
Yeah. And
Everybody
well,
got your prunes, your
the,
oatmeal. I don't know what it would be.
exactly. But
Not too
the
much
one
oatmeal.
I do like oatmeal.
the major topic of today is
Mhm.
grandpa and grandma turns young again, which is one that you two have talked about for a while in our
Oh yeah.
what have we watched slash reading.
Mhm.
So, and I figured that we could well give it a episode here on the channel, and to give a recap from my anime list. Shouzou Saitou and his wife Ina has been married for nearly 60 years. Though they have not become wealthy or being able to go on a honeymoon in all that time, their love has remained steadfast. The couple spend their days peacefully tending to an orchard of apple trees and receive visits from from the loving family. While tending to the apple tree they planted on the wedding day, they find a golden apple hanging from one of the branches. Decide to eat the apple back home, and the next morning the couple awakens to find they have become young again in the new but familiar bodies. Shosu and Inna are able to live life as they never had before. They engage in more modern activities together, such as participating in a sports festival and playing video games. As they revisit the memories of their young love, the romance between them rekindle, inspiring similar feelings in the younger members of the family. And I'm going to start with you, man. What are your thoughts so far about this show? I might have just watched the 5 first episodes, but you are on track with this, right?
Yeah, I am. I really enjoyed this show so far. I want to say Didge might have been the first person to tell me about this. I'm not completely sure. But I'm glad you did because it could have been one of those shows that just slipped off my radar and I never watched it or at least didn't watch it as it was coming out. But I've really been enjoying it. It's definitely like a really great slice of life. Like I would say low stakes, but sometimes not. Sometimes not.
Some of the
But
stakes start amping.
yeah. For the most part though, it's like a really relaxing, really wholesome show where this old couple turned young again, are able to do all the things that they had maybe wanted to do in life that they hadn't been able to do because of like whether it's sickness or their body's not moving the way that they used to move, or even just being able to, for the most part, they really just hang out with their family and with their grandchildren and kind to continue to pass on like the lessons and the wisdom that they have to share, which is like super like cute to see because I figured, you know, if I sat down and wrote like, oh, what do I think is gonna happen with the first 5 episodes without knowing anything about this, I'm like, oh, they're gonna go party, they're gonna do all this crazy stuff, they're gonna try and be like for real young again. But I'm like, no, like they recognize I'm 80 or I'm 90. I'm way past doing all this stuff. I'm just gonna use my body to do the things that I haven't been able to do in a while, and I'm just gonna keep life the way it is because I'm truly happy with my life, which is like really awesome to see. And I don't know, this is just like super good vibe show, and I enjoy watching it every Sunday.
What about you, Didge?
I'd pretty much echo what Jamie said. It's very much a feel good story. Um, I'm not sure if I was the first to let you know about it or not, Jamie. I do always try to look at the beginning of every season, like, okay,
Mhm.
I know the big hitters that I'm gonna watch, and I just try to after outside of those, it's like, all right, well, let's look at some of the trailers and let's see what's gonna hit different parts of what I like to watch. Like there's always, if I can find something sports related, because I'm a huge sports fan, I'll try to find that. And this fell into the category of, well, when I'm just relaxing, just sort of wanting to only not really, I won't say turn my brain off, but like like you said, it's lowish stakes. So it's like I don't have to think too much about what I'm watching. It's just, does it make me feel happy or not? And this very much fell in that category. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. And it's just been that ever since. Like, I am shocked at some of the stakes in some of the episodes. Like, I thought this was very much going to be super easygoing. I did also think that it was going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to do all these things that we couldn't do in terms of, like you said, like clubbing, doing all this different stuff where it's like, you know, we're going to really, really relive our youth again. And in some ways it's not. And that's been pretty good to see.
Yeah.
I was almost worded off at the beginning with the way that the family reacted, especially to the granddad being young again.
Oh, yeah.
That moment, I was like, all right, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But it didn't end up going that way, thankfully.
Yeah.
So that was good to see, because I for a second I was like, oh my god, did I make a huge mistake here? But no, all in all, this is one of the ones that it's been fun to keep up with each week. I'm sad that it's only 11 episodes, because this also doesn't feel like something where it's like, oh yeah, we're definitely getting that second season, like, because it's so much like, sort of like Isaac was saying, that it feels episodic, not necessarily something that you have to watch in order. You can sort of just dip in and catch episodes. I don't know how well that's going to go for multiple seasons. Like, I don't know if the manga's still going or anything. And if it is, I'm really curious to what that overall storyline is.
I could kind of see them like continuing to tell like the young love stories between like the grandchildren and like the younger generation. But yeah, I don't know. Season 2 definitely has a big question mark around it, because even if they did continue to tell like the younger love stories, like it wouldn't necessarily be about grandma and grandpa being young anymore. Then it's just like, okay, like we already know what they're about. What are the kids doing? And at that point, that's kind of a different show. Yeah, pretty much. So that's a good point.
It's funny that you are you done, Lidge?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the whole wealth. How should I? How the some of the family members wanted to drink some water when they saw grandpa. If we were trying to go a bit PG in the whole thing, and that made me take a step back and just. Have I done a mistake in all this?
That was a weird direction to go for the first episode, because like you don't really get that vibe anymore after that. Just, I get the initial shock, and even if it was true, like, oh dang, grandpa, like he was a really attractive young guy. Like, I don't know if you necessarily say it out loud, you know, and express it the way that they expressed it. So it definitely, to Isaac and Dig's point, it did kind of feel like it could have been another kind of show at the beginning. Thankfully, we hung on, and we moved past that.
It's just it's one thing if the daughter-in-law react, but just for the sake of comedy, but and sort of like. And he didn't for the husband, and he didn't get better genes than this. Look, you compare the grandpa to the son, her husband, and just side by side, sort of like a joke like there. That would have been an entire different thing, I dare argue, because well, it goes in line. But I have to, but besides that, I have to say that. It's a really cute show, with how should I put it? One thing I do, sure, it's weird that no one is really questioning how they have become young again, and so young that they, and so young at that. But it kind of also makes sense considering they want to be a slice of life comedy show and not a drama show, drama slice of life. Because if this had been a sort of like a serious slice of life, it would not have made sense for keeping it sort of like hidden or no reaction to it type of deal.
I
But
will say they do kind of, at least at where we are right now on the show, which granted we only have like a couple episodes left, but they haven't fully explained how this happened, but they have kind of talked around like, oh, there have been rumors or there's history of like people turning young again kind of thing. So
Yeah.
they make allusions to like, I guess, some theories around it, but you never get a definitive answer. Yeah.
And it does feel like some of the like ancillary characters are kind of like, yo, how did that happen? Like,
yeah.
They're not obviously confronting them, but it does feel like in some of the interaction that they're having with each other, like you see it, you sort of see like the characters kind of looking at them kind of weird and stuff. And it's just like, so it does feel like the greater community is like something weird happened. But also, I don't know if I would go up to the person and be like, "Hey, how you get young again?" Like I'd probably just, in the same way that they're doing, look at the people around me like,
I don't know if you know them. Be like, let me know.
Yeah,
that's fair. I feel like I feel like it would. You wait a couple. You wouldn't do it immediately when you see them.
Yeah. You gotta know their side effects. You wait at least a month,
right?
And then you're like, all right.
Well, like maybe this week's episode or like next week's episode, maybe that's when the people are starting like, hey, all right, so see, you've been good all these past couple of months.
Yeah,
how'd you do this? Like that, maybe that's when that part comes in.
And they live in a small town, so people are talking about it. They know for sure.
Do we know how small the town is?
It feels fairly small.
Yeah, I feel like we see a lot of the same characters a lot. So I feel like if I had to put a number on it, like 200, 300, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, not a lot compared to like big cities and all.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's nowhere near a big city.
No.
And I argue that it's more 200 to 300. Isn't that more like a village than a city?
That's definitely a town or a village.
I don't know. There's also like there's a lot of farming going on, and sometimes I don't know. It was just a guess. It's just a small number of people that basically.
For sure, no, I agree. I think it's we're talking 500 at the extreme max. I think.
But I have to say, I don't know since I have only seen 5 episodes compared to you guys. Do they go focusing more on the whole farming and the whole their work life kind of deal, or if they want to expand since they are now young again, since now they can do more than just keep track on the apples type of deal? I mean, if you have the energy, you might want to do something.
Trying to get an enterprise, or like, are you
not creating an enterprise, but maybe they have felt that this could have been interesting to try it out, but we didn't have the energy or the money or the time or something like that. But now we get a second chance. Let's try and give that a shot and see if we were able to have been able to accomplish that in our younger days if we had the tools and all that. Yes.
Do you want to go first, Dage?
No, you go ahead.
I'll say that's one of the, I think, beautiful aspects of the show is the fact that they feel so fulfilled with their lives for the most part. Of course, with everybody's life, there's something that they would like to change or something that they wish they could do. But for the most part, they feel so fulfilled that they're like, yeah, we're just going to continue picking apples. Like, this is our jam. This is what we do. And it's also, you see other like side characters through them picking the apples and like doing their day-to-day tasks. So if they did decide to move away from that, like they would kind of be removing themselves from part of their community too. So I think it was probably good just to stick with like, yeah, we pick apples, like we go clean the shrines every once in a while, that kind of thing. They are living the senior citizen life to the fullest. They like, I'm retired and I am staying retired. I don't care how old I look. I'm retired. That's it.
Vacation arc. Like that's the one thing I think that they did, from what I could tell, that obviously they've been wanting to do forever, was have that big vacation. So like I think
Yeah,
to
the
your
honeymoon.
point, yeah, the whole I love how they titled those episodes too, like the honeymoon Tokyo arc. I forgot what the other city was, but like it you could very much tell that this isn't about, okay, now that we're young again, we have to do all of these grandstanding things. It's no, we're young again. We just have more energy to do this life that we built, this life that we already love, and create new memories on top of those. Yeah. So I think I like the simplicity of the whole series.
Yeah.
I can understand. Yeah, I see where you guys are going with it, and I did a quick check, and supposedly this manga is 8 volumes and has been finished since last year.
No.
I mean, let's face it. As adorable that it is it would. This isn't a show that you can go and do a One Piece at.
Right, you're right. I just like. I feel like these kind of feel good shows, at least for me in my anime history, have been so few and far between that when it ends, I'm like, I'm really sad that I won't have any more to enjoy. But you know, sometimes it's better to do like a really great season and then do something else. Like Odd Taxi, one of my favorite anime ever, only one season. Some part of me wishes there was more, but the other part of me was like, the first season was so good. I understand. Let's just leave it at that.
So the question in my book is how many volumes are they covering in this first season? So if they're not covering everything, there could be a season 2 or something, depending on how popular this season is, obviously.
I don't know. I would kind of be willing to bet that this season is probably a full adaptation. If it's not, like Did was saying earlier, like I don't know how much further you could take it to warrant another season, but I would love to be surprised.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Like maybe you get a second season. Maybe you get one more. Like this did the first half, and then that's gonna do the second half. But like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if this. It feels like the full adaptation.
Yeah, I will say. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I don't know where you expand upon this anymore.
I could see a possible expansion, but we wouldn't be talking to the same characters anymore. It'll be somebody like a new couple.
See, I feel like at that point it's just a spinoff.
Yeah.
Sort of like a sequel with the life of their son or something.
Not their son. Just a different couple. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but just a different couple.
That's fair.
So, well, I shall see how who the couple is when I finish it then, because the season, because that I will definitely do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is. It's a shame that it's only 11 episodes, but that also leads me to believe that it's a full adaptation, because why didn't you do 12?
Yeah,
that's also that, like that's why I think it's just like it's up. We did the damn thing and that's it.
Yeah, maybe the 11th episode is like a 40-minute episode. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
I would listen. Anime has done it before. Detective Conan. Every once in a while, they'll hit you with a 40, and I'm like, yes, I'm here for this. I am locked in. So
And I
you never
mean,
know.
what going back to Demon Slayer, they have had episodes that are 40 to 1 hour long. Mostly it's the season
Usually it's-
finale and season premieres but still.
Yeah, I could see it if it was a season premiere. Having your finale be double is, I mean, it's not unheard of. I feel like there's definitely been stuff that has done it. I mean, basically, Attack on Titan did it. Those are basically so.
They might as well have done the ending as a movie, putting it in theaters.
Yeah. Rumor is that's what Demon Slayer is gonna do.
Yeah, it's rumored.
For the ending, for the last arc.
Yeah,
they said it's gonna
last arc.
It's supposed to be a trilogy.
No,
that's the rumor.
What are you doing?
A trilogy. That's budget. That's big money. That's what they're doing.
Oh,
three supersized episodes, basically.
Are they coming out at the same time? We're gonna have to wait like 8 years.
You're definitely. I feel like it'd probably be like a spring, fall, spring, or maybe a fall, spring, fall.
No. I don't want
that arc has about 47 chapters, so 3 movies.
That could be 3 movies.
Yeah, that would be, especially since they are open to expand upon the arcs. So, like, let's go back to the Ashir training arc. So
that's what the rumor is.
I don't like the whole like start the season with a movie thing. It would have made more sense to me if it was like the season just continued after that, but it just goes back and revisits everything that was in the movie anyway. So I'm like, just put the season out to start the season.
Nah, man, cinema money.
I mean,
you can make cinema. Just put the whole season in the theater. There you go.
I mean, how much movie did Mugen Train did again?
Oh, it did a good amount.
Exactly. But
just make more toys.
I do wonder how much the merchandise.
But I was thinking about buying a sword while I was at Comic-Con. I'm like, that does the concept.
But let's if we go circle back to the main topic at hand.
Yes.
What and I don't bother with spoilers personally, but if you guys are, but if you want to be spoiler free, what was your favorite episode, arguably?
Favorite episode.
It's a tie for me with the honeymoon arc. I loved both the Tokyo episode. I for the life of me, I can't remember the other city. But it was because, like I said, obviously this whole series is very simplistic, and like Jamie was saying, just sort of like they're still living their life. It was good to see them do the one thing that they had really been wanting to do that they never got the chance to do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that arc is really good. If I had to pick like an episode that's really memorable to me, it would be when like the old folks were all getting together to do like this like outdoor event thing where there's different like track.
The community day.
Yeah, the community day. Oh my god. I want to say that was the episode where I forget if Grandpa was like being bombarded with a bunch of different women, and I forget if it was like something that happened in her head or she said this out loud. But Grandma was like, "If they don't get away from my man, I'm gonna mess them up." That was just so funny to me. I love that so much. So the community day in general, that was a really fun episode. So I really like that.
For me, as someone that has only seen the 5 first, it actually have to say the 5th episode where the whole Hearst memories become young and all that. Yes, because it was honestly just a lot of fun. It's arguably the most. I don't know why, but it's the show that I, to some extent, felt like the show truly got found its identity. I'm not saying that the previous episodes were bad, but this is where I truly feel like the show finds its footing, for better and for worse. And honestly, but I don't know how the manga ends, but from what you guys say with the honeymoon arc, it does sound like that arc could be somewhere that the show could have ended, honestly, for better or for worse.
I guess it could have ended there, but I definitely would have left me wanting more.
Yeah, because that was like knowing that this was 11 episodes, that was what, mid-season, basically? Because it was, you said you're on 5. I think the start of the honeymoon, I'm pretty sure, is the next episode. So it felt like a good midway point.
Yeah.
But again, with this being so, it's almost sitcom-ish, where it's like, sitcoms, you don't have to watch it episode by episode. You can very much dabble in somewhere, and like, sure, there might be some plot points that go throughout the whole season. For the most part, you are fine just picking up wherever. So those two probably felt the most interconnected, because it felt like that was a part 1, part 2. But yeah, like I said, it's the ones that felt like it flipped the entire series based off of what we got the vibe from for the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? And I have a question for you two. Sort of like, for those that haven't seen this show, if they, but they have seen something else in terms of slice of life, because we all know that even though they are the same genre, the slice of life have different approaches and all that jazz. Is there a slice of life series that you have seen, or movie for that matter, that if they liked that show / movie, they will love / enjoy this show? Would you argue?
I might have to consult the Googles here for a moment.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
I say, ooh, okay. I'm gonna throw Way of the House Husband out there. Even though, like, I don't know.
That's an interesting comparison.
It's like they both have that, like, we're at home, we're doing chores kind of thing. Just Way of the House Husband also has a Yakuza aspect to it.
That's why it's interesting.
He's like a retired Yakuza, so he's just like, I'm trying to keep my peace. Y'all do whatever y'all need to do in the streets. Like that's basically what the main character is on. There is, like, some people don't like the show, or it was hard for them to get into because they don't fully animate Way of the House Husband. It's kind of like they stick with the keyframes. I'm not gonna lie, that was also like a hurdle for me to like get into it as well. But I think overall it was a good one. What else? I don't know.
I got one. I'll say, if you've ever watched the series Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken. Now, premise is completely different. I'll give you that. Premise is completely
Keep
Your Hands Off
you just
Aizuken.
wanted to talk about it. Did love this show?
I mean, it's an amazing show. Look,
it's really good.
But like I said, keep your heads up, Isaac. And it's about I think she's a high schooler who she loves anime so much, and she wants to make her own anime, and it goes through sort of their daily lives of it. I think that's the part I'm sticking with. If with most slice of life, what I like is just sort of the mundane daily life and how people are interacting with the world. And that is very much what this series is. It's just like keep your hands off Isaac in it. It's very much this thing happened to me, or I'm very engrossed in this thing, and this is how it impacts my daily life. So in their sense, they're very much this thing happened to them. They are very much just going about life as normal, taking the advantages what it can do for them in stride and going. It feels very much like, again, you're just sort of watching. You're people watching at that point. So if you like people watching in general, this is people watching in sitcom form.
I getcha.
I will also one last ditch effort, even though this one is also kind of it's it's out there. I would put Spy Family on there actually, which we've talked about here on the channel. And the aspect that I'm coming from this, follow me, get on the train of logic. So
It should be interesting.
Spy Family, you can see it as the perspective of like all these people, all these different identities that they're trying to keep from each other. But I also feel that this show is Lloyd and Yor and Anya learning to love the simple things about just being a family in a community. Because none of them have had that in their lives, especially with like, I guess Lloyd has had romantic. He was on mission, just doing whatever, I guess. But he's had relationships. I'm under the impression that she hasn't. But Anya's never had like a parent. She was an orphan at the beginning of the series, and them being able to come together, become a family, and just enjoy like the everyday things, and then even bringing Bond into the picture, so like going on walks with Bond, or like going to school and like getting better at your studies, or even talking about the movie, going on vacation, and like just like learning about a different culture or exploring those different things. You could also say that there's like an aspect of just the appreciation of life there. Vastly different. There are stakes in that show. It's also still really fun though. So that's another good one. Slice of life.
That's actually an interesting comparison. I didn't think about that. But
it took me a minute to get there, but I got there.
Well, the closest I have, based on what I've seen, is weirdly enough Horimiya, because Horimiya, yes, it's more of a teenage slice of life rom-com, but it's all about how they progress as a couple and they progress in life and trying to understand each other. And from what I've seen, and it's sort of like it's the couple aspect, because that I think fits within this show in comparison, because they try to understand what, at least for what I've seen, try to understand how both are approaching their new life, or whatever you want to call it. But maybe I'm overthinking it.
Amen. It's all good recommendations at the end of the day, so that works.
Yeah. But do you guys have anything else to talk about? I think we're mostly I personally doesn't have anything more for this. Other than I recommend it so far, at least.
Yeah, I agree. I would recommend this show, especially if you're looking for kind of like a more chill, relaxed anime. I know anime, most of the time people talk about like the high action fighting and drama and all that stuff, but anime has like chill, like fun, happy shows too. So check that one out.
How about you, Didge? Do you have anything else?
No, like I said, I think if you are, I like the people watching thing I brought up. If you really like people watching, this is the show for you because you're really just people watching at the end of the day.
If you like appreciating life,
That's another good way to put it.
you like Studio Ghibli movies.
Honestly, yeah, I can see what you mean there. Considering how a lot of their movies is slice of life. I mean, there aren't that many action movies. Not to mention one of the most iconic is My Neighbor Totoro, and that is all about life. But I digress. But Didge, where can people find you?
You can find me at Didge_DEE in all places. You can also find me on the Geek Set podcast and on the Lost Holocron podcast. Acolyte is back. We will be revealing that. Can't wait. And yeah, that's about it.
Where can people find you, Jamie?
Yeah, you can find me here on the Amateur Otaku talking about some anime. I know we got some episodes coming up, so I'm excited to hopefully see you all again. Outside of that, I stream on Twitch at Swiper_Prime. Also have a YouTube channel of the same name where it's all about gaming conversations. I've also been playing through Final Fantasy, so if you're into those kinds of topics, definitely come by.
And well, you can find me here at the Amateur Otaku, and you can find me at X Emblemaniac, and well, we have a lot in the bag coming up soon, and I might have something on my own finished rather soon, which we'll see. We shall see, but well, that's it for today then. Have it awesome, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
And
peace out.
Remember to like and subscribe and everything of that jam. See ya.